Back to the second video here. This is going to be on psychology. And this is a very important topic. And this is something I like to talk about a lot with traders that come into the market and people that have been trading for a while. It's one of those things is like people aren't going to talk about it enough because like it's not sexy, right? Like a new strategy is sexy after a loss, right? Like you having a loss and then seeing something about how to prevent over trading, like that you're less likely to click. It just doesn't get a whole lot of clicks. So this video, if it's rated on all out of all these videos, it'd probably be like the least watched one. Actually, I'll take it back because this is the second video of this boot camp, which will probably slowly die from there. And that's all right. But so let's get into this. Psychology is something I love talking about with my students and just people in general who in our Discord that ask questions. They don't, they don't have any sort of idea like how big it is. But some of the main bullet points here are 90% people that don't make in this business due to these three things: poor trading psychology, no risk management, over trading, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with, losing just in general, right? Because, what are we taught in school, right? C's get degrees and anything below a C sucks. Okay. So, if you have a 60% win rate with, 1-2R, 1-3R, like you can make as much money as you want, doing that, but the problem comes with losses. Okay. Most people don't know how to handle them because they think losing is bad. Well, like losses in trading, let's say I have some stuff written down here too, are inevitable, right? And I feel like more of like the acceptance of losing helps you become a better trader. If you accept that you're going to lose, not every trade, but like you accept that you're going to lose in trading, like, I think you'll do well, right? Because there's such thing as like a edge expectation, right? Like you're trading edge and over the course of time, right? If you guys see right here in the second bullet point, you can have a winning trade by not following your system, and you can lose by following your system. What helps me is thinking in terms of thousands on every trade. One trade's not going to, affect much, right? It can if you're over leveraging, and then these things start to come into play, right? So stay humble. Don't let your winners build your ego. Okay, I don't like to say trade like a robot because like I think your emotions are important. I think it's important to recognize the emotions. So, and then that way you can dive into your trading and see like what leads to this X lead to Y and stuff like that. And that's very important. And having someone to talk about that with, whether it be a trading buddy or a coach or whatever, it's important for someone, not just yourself, to look at that. So that's one thing I recommend. But back to this, it's just losses are part of this game, and the more like you have, like you detach yourself from the outcome and not thinking like a robot, like obviously trading like a robot sounds cool, like have a robotic, systematic, mechanical approach. Yeah, but I still want to observe my emotions. Like I don't want to just turn them off, right? I don't think that's very good because there's certain things, your emotions are good for, but it's keeping them in check, and most people can't do that, right? And then stop worrying about losers. Is just simply the cost of doing business, right? It's just a business decision, it's other companies do the same thing, right? Like it's just like the cost of doing business. Like they spend $5 to make a product that sells for 10, and they can't sell it, then that sucks, right? If they do sell it, they turn a profit, right? And make $5. Same thing with trading, right? We risk $500 or whatever to make 1,000 or 1,500 per trade, 2 or 3 R. So it's just thinking like that with trading, right? Just think of it like a business approach, and it's 90% patience and 10% execution. So last week in particular, this is like November 3rd. So last week, week before the election, okay, and not a whole lot of trades in there, okay. I know a lot of people that lost last week, mainly because it was NFP as well on top of that. So they they came by Thursday, Friday. They're like, okay, I need to take a trade now. Well, why? You don't see your setup, but they still just want to take a trade because they're itching for it, right? They think, doing something leads to something. That's not the case with trading, okay? Take it from me. I learned it the hard way. Everything I'm teaching you guys, like I learned it. Like I've been where you're at. Like, so it's important to realize that. And sorry if I'm kind of rambling all over the place here with psychology, but it's just so many things that can go into over trading, risk management, trading psychology. Like there's just so many things that I can get really off topic pretty quickly due to how big psychology is in general. So let's try to break it down a little bit further. So detaching from trading. So you want to detach from trading, right? From like the outcome, right? Like for me, like I go into every trading week not expecting to take a trade. I go into every trading day not expecting to take a trade. And then when I'm in the trade or about to take a trade, if it works out, cool. If not, okay. It is what it is, right? So how to detach when trading, okay? Have a system. That's very important. If you don't have a system, psychology only goes so far. So like once you get the system down, then the psychology really comes into the market. But you have to have that system first, okay? And then sticking to the system, okay? Thinking in terms of thousands, right? Don't be strategy hopping. Don't be combining all these strategies into one. Like, oh, okay, this one has a 50% win rate. This one has 60 if I take something from here and there. Just come in with an open mind, right? And then learn that system, whether it be my system, Matt's system, like whatever you guys learn, freaking supply and demand, whatever it is. But yeah, just sticking to that system and being disciplined in all aspects of your life. I think this is very important because like trading just exposes you, right? It exposes the real you. So I did not think I was such a degenerate gambler at first. And I'm not, right? But like I thought I didn't overtrade, but then I was like, I trade every day. I don't necessarily always see my system, but I find myself taking a trade every day. Like, why is that? I wasn't disciplined enough. I wasn't disciplined enough to wait for my setup, wait for my system, right? I had the system, but I had systems, right? I was combining all these things into one. Sorry about that. And I never really had any of these problems with drugs, alcohol, or waking up on time or going to the gym. So, but for some people, like that may be an issue. So, but these are just some things that I recommend you doing. And I think it will come into your trading and it'll be a good thing. So waking up on time, going to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, no drugs or alcohol or any other addictions. I think that's very important. Okay. And then 4, do you find yourself obsessing, worrying, or being in control over in other aspects of your life? So getting pissed off that the restaurant got your order wrong, right? For me today, actually, I almost missed my plane ticket. My plane back home because the security line was super long, and I had pre-check, and I'm like, why is this line so long? I asked myself, I was like, man, this is pretty long, right? 3-4 years ago, and granted, I'm back home, so I made the flight, no big deal. 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been stressing myself out for 30 minutes. I'd be like, man, why are we, You know, I would have been like doing stuff that is stupid. I'm not saying like cut the line or anything like that, but I would have been stressing out. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of asked myself like I can't do anything about this, so like the only thing I can do is sit here. I can't cut in front of security and freaking get arrested, right? I can't go back home. I can't get back in the car because I have to go home. Okay, so that was just the example today. So if you find yourself doing those things, odds are, you're probably in the trade and you're like, whenever you're in a trade and it's going wrong, you're probably sitting there like staring at it the whole time. And you're worrying, oh man, like I should do this, I should do that, rather than like trusting your system, right? So like if price is going lower and lower and you have your stop, um, stop like is usually set below the breaker or whatever, and you just keep moving it up, then price like wicks down, takes you out, and then runs higher. Like you're worrying too much about the outcome. Like screw the outcome. Like win or lose, like just have the same thought process going into it, right? Like it doesn't matter. I think that's very important. Control what you can control, and then get the fuck out the way. And then 5, taking a trade, whether long or short, is just an idea. Why do you care so much about one trade being wrong? It's just an idea. Think in terms of thousands. Like all these trades like people post every day that I'll post. It's just ideas. They don't have to work out. I've seen some of the cleanest charts not work out. Did I trade them? Sometimes no. Sometimes yes. Okay. It's just an idea. There's gonna be 1,000 other trades. Like why the hell you care so much? All right. And then this is one of my favorite quotes from my favorite books. Zen Trader. To trade well, you need peace of mind. To get peace of mind, you need to learn detachment. Okay. Not emotionless detachment. Okay. And these are some of my favorite things to trying to have trying to become detached when trading. Okay. And then being disciplined in trading, right? Make sure I just have everything right here. Okay. Backtest your system with rules and record your emotions. Okay. Notice I said record your emotions, not the trade. I mean, you can do that too. Like if it's a +2R or -1R or whatever, record that. Recording your emotions is important because if you feel that you are maybe you have a fear of losing, that goes back to okay, maybe risk a little less and focus on having that system, and then focus on that system in 1,000 trades from now. Okay, that's very. I think those are I think that's an easy fix for that. Okay, and then back testing your system, that builds muscle memory, right? You know when this happens, I'll do this, or if this happens, I won't do what most people do. Okay, you have a muscle memory, you have a system for that. And then this also helps with every time you see your model, you take it, right? Because you're disciplined. Every time you wake up, make your bed. Why? Because you're disciplined. Nick, I find myself taking random trades outside my model. Well, answer is more backtesting and or problem finding your model. That's all that is. Like you don't have either enough confidence in the model, or you don't have you haven't backtested. You haven't put in enough work. You haven't submitted the time enough. Okay. And once you have that in you and it becomes ingrained in you, become obsessed with it, and you only take your model. Okay. For example, a lot of you guys know what Robinhood is, or not Robinhood, Acorns, and Robinhood too. Whenever I got my first paycheck, I would I would try to invest to dividend stocks and things like that. So I was like, man, I'm not gonna be eating out anymore. I'm just gonna try to get $100 a month in dividends, $200, whatever. And I thought that was that. I became so obsessed with investing that money that I didn't want to spend it anymore. You know what I mean? I didn't want to spend on stupid shit. So having a good system in place and you're obsessed with it keeps you from taking dumb trades outside your model. That's a good analogy I like to use with that. And 2, Discipline in trading continued. So write down your rules. On the same page, write down the name of the people you care about or a photo of them. Every time you deviate from your rules, aka gambling, because that's what it is, you are disrespecting them, especially if you are doing this full time. So I have my family right here, and like, I'm looking at them constantly throughout the day, like, and then after a loss, I always look at them. Why? Because like that's usually like after you take one loss, that's usually when the downfall starts to happen for most people. Not for me, but like I always look at it, right? Because I'm like, okay, like is this trade really like in their best interest, right? Like if I'm this got stopped out of a long, and maybe I just want to like reverse position sell, even though I don't have a system for that. Like that's probably not the best thing to do, right? If I lose money 3, 4, 5, 6 trades in a row and I stuck in my system, I can look at my family all day and be like, yep, just not a good week, okay. Whereas like, yeah, I mean, I had a bad trade. I had a good trade with my model, but it didn't work out, and then from there it just kind of all went downhill. That's harder to explain. You see what I mean? And tip 2, track your most common mistakes and review them after every day or week, right? Whether it be execution, whether it be overtrading, FOMO, not pulling the trigger, or, all those things that I mentioned, write those down. A lot of us suffer from the same ones. Like we got 100 people, 30% people do this, 25 do this, and, the other 45 do the other thing, 55 actually. And then find something to do outside of trading that forces you to be disciplined. So for me, I play golf with my friends or whoever. Like I can't not be like stupid playing golf. Like I can't go out there with my friends and move the ball around, write down the wrong score. Like forces you to do it. Maybe that's why so many people like think it's boring or whatever. Trading should be boring too. That's another story. So gym, sports, hobby, whether it be bingo night with the friends, something like that, forces you to do something. Be disciplined. Every Tuesday night at 6, something like that. All time favorite pictures right here. Okay. How emotions can dictate our trading. Impulsiveness. Find yourself mentally drained after a day of trading. Chances are you traded your model and you lost, and after that you could not walk away because you felt betrayed. So you tried to get that dollar amount back, and you just dug yourself deeper throughout the day. Okay, that's impulsiveness, and that happens a lot. I've seen that a lot, and I've been a part of that too. Okay. A fix for that: try to set limit orders with buy and sell, stop loss, TP. If you find yourself getting emotional, still walk away till the trade is closed. Obviously, you want to set some alerts on TradingView so it doesn't hit your TP and then run down to your stop loss. That would suck. Happened to me before. And then 2, don't come into trading with a lack of sleep, clouded mind, mood swing, argument with your spouse, friend, etc. You gotta come in here with an open mind, clear mind, and just lock in you and the charts, right? Because if you don't do that, it's like maybe someone like maybe your spouse is like she wanted to go to, or he wanted to go somewhere nice for dinner tomorrow night. And you said we're not doing good on budget this month or whatever, and then like, well, why don't you get a real job? Us traders always get taught, we need to get a real job, okay? And then you thinking about that as you take a trade, and then you're like, I'm gonna prove it to them that I can do this, and then all downhill from there, okay? And then limit your time playing video games, scrolling on Twitter, binge watch on Netflix. So I play video games sometimes with the boys. I don't find video games very good because it's like wasted time, right? Like you don't get that time back. It's I feel like you can just sit there all day, and like I feel like playing video games doesn't build good habits, in my opinion. Scrolling on Twitter, same thing. I just keep Twitter on my laptop. Every time I pull up my computer, like it comes up, and then binge watch on Netflix for hours. I think that I think those 3 things, like you can do them all, right? If you scroll on Twitter, I don't have a problem with that. I scroll on Twitter sometimes. I'll play video games, like I'll watch stuff on Netflix, but the problem is, falling into like a cycle of just doing them all the freaking time, right? Like you dopamine, like quick fixes. I think like that's just like a no go. I think you shouldn't do that. Like maybe get outside, take dog on a walk, go to the gym. You know, the stuff I mentioned in the last slide. Do stuff like that rather than this. And then how emotions can dictate our trading continued. Pure desperation. This leads to rushing the process. So, for example, thinking more trades equals more success. Wrong. This is not a 9 to 5. Or the longer you work or the more trades you take, you'll be successful. I aim for 1 to 3 setups a week. I've had weeks where I took 0 trades. Okay. I bet you a lot of you, if you tried this week to take like from this like whenever you're watching this video from here on out for a week, try not to take a trade. Okay. Now, if you see your setup, obviously you're going to take it, right? That's fine. But if you had like reverse psychology with that, I think you would trade a lot better. Okay. But yeah, there has been times where I have 0 trades in a week. Why? I have no model, nothing trade. Like it could have been like a NFP combined with like a high news event, like maybe this week, for example, right now. Daylight savings time is tomorrow. Election on Tuesday. FOMC on Thursday. So maybe Friday. I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe Wednesday. I don't know. Depends on how everything's gonna go. I think it's gonna be chaos. And then process over product. Process leads to profits, right? Don't focus on making but don't focus on I want to make 100K a year. Focus on doing the things that lead to 100K a year. Focus on the process, right? Whatever your process is, I don't care what it is. Just focus on that. And if you have like pure desperation, like you feel like you find yourself taking a lot of trades, you probably over leveraging because you need to make money. So find supplemental income, whether it be a part-time job, stuff like that. And then reduce your risk, no more than 1-2%. This is all obviously on a personal account. And then have a loss limit for the week. So for me, I risk no more than 3% a week. Okay. So like 1% on my first trade, and then I'll risk like another like 1% from there, and then I'll split up in 2 halves. Okay. So 2 half%. That goes from my personal account. Key facts I wish I knew about trading when I started out. This is the hardest, easiest thing you'll ever do. No matter how you scroll through Instagram, you see, oh man, I made 30K a day. Wow, it looks pretty easy. Just like bought here and sold there. Like, yeah, I can do that. I can sign up for a signal service. This is the emotions that come with that. Man, they're so hard to deal with. Like this is literally like I've had like a one-on-one student who is does a very hard job. He just like it's a very hard job. I'm not gonna say what it is, but he literally said to me, he's like, "This is the hardest thing like I've ever had to do." I'm like, "What?" Like you do, like what you do is like, man, I could never imagine anything being harder than that. And he's like, "Yeah, like this is 10 times harder." I'm like, "Well, I disagree, but I appreciate it." So, but the reason why it's hard is because we make this harder than it needs to be, than it should be. Okay. We're doing all this stuff that I talked about in the past 23 minutes. All that stuff. Okay. It's a you versus you career. Nothing else matters. So I see all these people talking about on Twitter, talking about, he got 50K payout. Like, where's your payout? Or they're talking about like trading. That's my next favorite thing. Trading competitions. It's like it's a you versus you career. Why are you doing a trading competition, especially when you're starting out? Like, it's only gonna hurt you, right? Like, this is the only career where it's you versus you. Like, use that to your advantage, okay? And then there's no perfect strategy. See, when I got an ICT, I thought it was like a cheat code to the markets, and I thought losses were very rare, if any. I was wrong. It's just like any other strategy, okay? I hate to break it to you, ICT traders, okay? That's the case. All right. And I know people that are 10 times smarter than me that have failed or would fail in this career. I know a friend who's like going to be, a very high-end doctor. and they would just fail. Why? Because they if they took a loss, they would not understand why I would lose, and they would just keep like strategy hopping and doing all the stuff I recommend. I said that they just wouldn't be able to handle a loss because like they're a very smart person. They don't really get below like a 95 on the test, so they don't get a whole lot of questions wrong. And when trading, you're gonna get a lot of trades wrong. You're gonna lose some money. So. And this could be the easiest career by a mile if people just focused on what actually matters, not which is good psychology, risk management, trade management, having the system, sticking to it, thinking long term, and keeping it simple, stupid. Okay, easier said than done here. Easier said than done. I fall victim to some of these things too, but that's part of it, right? That's why we love it so much, right? There's always something coming back to it. It's kind of like golf, right? Like I'll have a really, really good round, and I'm still thinking about that putt I missed on 16. Right, like, man, like short putt. I still should have made that putt. Keeps me up at night. So that'll conclude this video. Sorry, on psychology. I think to wrap it up here, some things I put down here in my notes. Bear with me here. I think that's it. I talked about the ones I wanted to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Man, psychology is like the hardest thing for people to get. Trying to get good psychology, right? Is so tough. Like most people. They never really do, and that's what takes them out of trading. I guarantee it isn't the system, right? And like once they find that system, I think it's kind of like a yin yang, right? Once you get the system, then you work on psychology, right? And they just kind of work together, right? You have to have the system first, obviously, okay? But I think this is very, very important. Doesn't get talked about enough because why? It's boring and people don't want to talk about it. But it's just like kind of like trading, right? Some of the best traders I know, myself included, like so freaking like my trading strategy is so boring. Like it's like I can literally explain it to my son, like if I wanted to. It's just like yeah, this happens, you do that, and then just buy here or sell here. But yeah, that'll conclude this video on psychology. I'll see you guys back on the next one. That will be on setting up your trading view. Broker, the charts, indicators, stuff like that, like if you're a complete beginner. So I'll see you guys back here on that one, and have a good rest of your evening.